So I've been hearing a lot about the this whole anti-natalist argument on YouTube recently, and for anyone that doesn't know, anti-natalism is the position that asserts a rather negative value judgment on birth and on life, and in other words, it sort of says what is the point of being born, um, and the whole argument is essentially based on whether one believes that life has meaning to it. If you are obviously if you are religious, and you will believe that life does have meaning and that life does have um, an inherent purpose to it, and so you will automatically view life as being sacred, or as a gift rather than something which is imposed upon us. However, if we view life empirically and take everything at face value, then we cannot find meaning or purpose to life or in our lives, and therefore life isn't seen as a form of as a gift, but it's rather seen as an imposition, something which is imposed upon us, and so we are literally thrown into existence. And I mean, I'd argue that this is perhaps the more modern view, the rather sort of existentialist view. And and so with this in mind, our parents owe us everything, and we owe our parents nothing, absolutely nothing. We could argue that all of our despair and sadness and suffering can essentially be blamed on our parents for for choosing to bring us into existence, for imposing life upon us. We didn't have that choice to be to be born, to come into existence. It was entirely our parents' decision. So we could argue, what is the point in having children in the first place if in the end it is all to the same effect? If in the end it is all to no avail. Well, we could argue that by having children, we are fulfilling a biological desire to procreate, whilst at the same time, it could bring us happiness, which could be seen as something of a selfish action, because after all, we have children because we think that bringing up the child will, in some sense, be good for us. Something to pass the time and give our lives illusory meaning and purpose. But on the flip side, you could argue, what is the point in not having children? If in the end it is all to no avail, then why not have children? You might as well have a good time in the process, and like I said before, it could give your life meaning, albeit a fleeting one. And so it doesn't really matter whether you live a life of luxury in peace and bliss, or whether you live a life full of pain and suffering. If in the end it all counts for the same thing, which is essentially nothing. Um, and I mean, don't get me wrong. I've seen the joy that that children can bring. I mean, I've got a 7-month-old niece who brings me and the family, and her parents, a lot of happiness and joy. Um, I see children as innocent, as being uncorrupted by society and human nature, I guess. And so, I could see how having children could bring the parents an overwhelming sense of meaning. But just that in itself isn't necessarily a good argument to have children in the first place. So overall, I think that this whole anti-natalist kind of debate is a really, it makes a really interesting discussion. I think that fundamentally there is no point in having children, as I think that life is an imposition rather than a gift. But like I said before, what is the point in not having children if if it could give our lives some sort of illusionary meaning and purpose, whilst at the same time bringing about happiness? Then why not?